All right, so imagine this. There's a fire, right? Pretty dramatic stuff, flames and all that. But it's not just any fire. It's at a judge's house.
Okay, I'm listening. A judge's house on fire.
Yeah. And then to make things even weirder, when the smoke clears, investigators find bags, like multiple sacks, and they're full of cash.
Wait, what? Bags of cash? In a judge's house after a fire?
Yeah, exactly. It's the kind of thing that just makes you stop and say, what is going on here?
You're telling me. So where are we headed with this deep dive?
We're going deep into this fire at Justice Yashwant Verma's place. He's a judge at the Delhi High Court, and this whole thing went down on March 14th, 2025.
So we're talking about a pretty high-profile case then.
Oh, absolutely. High profile and seriously strange. And the thing is, it gets weirder the more you look into it. We're going to try to lay out all the facts as clearly as we can.
Okay, good. Because I'm already hooked. So what do we know for sure?
Well, we know the fire happened, right? It was at Justice Verma's official residence in Lutyens, Delhi. That's like the super posh VIP area in Delhi where a lot of government folks live.
Right, got it. And Justice Verma himself.
He wasn't home at the time, thankfully.
Yeah.
But his family was there, and they called the firefighters.
Scary stuff. So the fire department shows up, puts out the fire. Then what?
That's when things get interesting. During the investigation, they find those sacks of cash I was talking about.
Hold on. Cash in sacks, like hidden away.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 sacks. Some of the money was completely burned up. Some was just damaged. And that's where all the questions start popping up.
Makes sense. I mean, the first question that jumps to my mind is, where did all this money come from?
Exactly. And what was it doing in a judge's house? Then, of course, there's the big question.
Yeah.
Was the fire an accident, or did someone start it on purpose?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. It just seems so suspicious.
Totally. And let's not forget, we're talking about a judge here, someone who's supposed to be, upholding the law and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if the money wasn't his, just having it there raises all sorts of ethical red flags.
Right. So naturally, the authorities jumped on this right away. The Delhi police started a formal investigation, and the fire brigade included the whole cash thing in their report.
So it's official. There's a paper trail now.
There is. But then Justice Verma puts out a statement saying the money wasn't his.
So now we have a denial. But it doesn't really explain anything, does it?
Nope. In fact, it makes things even more mysterious. If the money wasn't his, then whose was it? And what was it doing there? It's like a puzzle with missing pieces.
It really is. So what happened next? Did the police find anything out?
Well, the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, Justice D.K. Upadhyay, started an internal inquiry right away. He sent a report to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Sanjeev Khanna.
So even the top judges are involved now. That's how seriously they're taking this.
You got it. The report basically said, hey, we need a thorough investigation. But here's the thing. No one has said exactly how much money was found.
Really? They haven't released that information. That's strange.
Super strange. I mean, you'd think that would be like a key piece of information, but nope, it's still under wraps.
That just adds more fuel to the conspiracy theories, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. And then things took another turn. The Supreme Court Collegium, which is like the group that decides on judge appointments and transfers, they recommend that Justice Verma be transferred back to the Allahabad High Court.
Wait a second. That's where he was originally, right?
Yep. And the timing of this transfer is what really raised eyebrows. I mean, it was so soon after the fire and the cash discovery.
It's almost too much of a coincidence. It makes you wonder if they were trying to move him out of the spotlight.
Exactly. Or maybe even to, hinder the investigation somehow. It definitely adds another layer of suspicion.
It does make you question the transparency of the whole thing.
Yeah. And then there's this police report. It's like 25 pages long with photos and videos from the scene.
So they really went all out on the investigation.
They did. But the exact amount of money is still a secret. However, some reports are saying it could be in the crores of rupees.
Crores? We're talking tens of millions of rupees here. That's huge.
I know, right? It's mind-boggling. And it puts even more pressure on the investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, was there something shady going on that led to all that cash ending up in the judge's house?
I mean, it's hard not to think that way. And with that much money involved, you have to wonder if there was any, pressure or influence at play, especially with the transfer recommendation happening so quickly.
Exactly. And then there's the political side of things. Pawan Khera, who's a Congress leader, came out and said there needs to be action taken against Justice Verma.
Okay, so it's getting political now.
Yep. Khera even brought up the Unnao rape case, which Justice Verma had heard. He basically said finding all that cash in the judge's house was shameful.
Wow. That's a pretty strong statement.
Yeah, and it kind of blew the whole thing wide open. Suddenly everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's not just a legal matter anymore.
It becomes a public issue, a matter of trust in the judicial system.
Exactly. So here we are with all these questions swirling around. But the central mystery remains. What's the truth?
Right. What really happened that night? And what about that cash? Where did it come from? Why was it there?
There are tons of theories flying around. Some people think the money was part of some shady deal. Others say it's part of some big conspiracy. And then there's Justice Verma's claim that he didn't even know about the money.
It's like something out of a movie, you know? But it's real life.
It is, and that's what makes it so unsettling. This whole thing, it really raises some fundamental questions about our judicial system, about transparency, accountability, you name it.
Absolutely. When something like this happens, it shakes people's faith in the system. And that's a dangerous thing.
It is. So as we wrap this up, it's important to remember that the investigation is still ongoing. We don't have all the answers yet.
But we've laid out the facts, the timeline, the different perspectives.
We have. So now it's your turn, listeners. What do you think happened? What's the most likely explanation for all of this? And what does it tell us about the way things work, or maybe don't work, in our judicial system?
It's a lot to think about. But one thing's for sure. This case shines a light on the importance of transparency and accountability in our institutions, especially those that are supposed to protect us and uphold justice. It makes you wonder what else is going on behind closed doors that we don't know about.